It's been interesting going around and seeing some of the writing about the work being essentially about seeds in the natural world, because that's only part of the conversation in the work. A lot of the work is also about the environment and climate change and the pandemics. The COVID pandemic has affected us globally, but it's only one of the pandemics. Even though the pandemic is essentially, the variants and the mutations, I'm also quite interested in mutated forms in my work and variables that different people have been affected more severely than other people according to one's economic status, according to one's cultural background and so on. The title of the exhibition is Along a Spectrum, which again involves different conversations. So one of the conversations is about a kind of societal dysfunction, thinking about pathology in the behavioural sense and sociopathy in terms of dysfunctional behaviour and actions. The mash you up man is kind of a colloquialism in parts of the Caribbean, and I've heard it used in my family, is really talking about a kind of emotional distress and about a kind of behaviour which is to do with, kind of anxiety and dysfunction, so it's really about being mashed up, like mashing potatoes, I suppose, something, about people being mashed up, about societies being mashed up. Multiple conversations evolve because I tend to make multiple small things together. And I've always grouped small elements, component parts. I had a long chat with Dorothy Price, and we were talking about transitional objects. And so, in a way, that's part of the thinking about these small kind of emerging objects, is that thinking about attachment to objects as an infant, and primarily the breast or a nipple or the bottle. So cocoa pods, in a way, came out partly because of a project I'm doing at Hackney. I'm making fruit, large fruit in bronze and marble, then decided to make smaller, multiple cocoa pods. So there are lots of different strands to thinking about the fact of cocoa being a really beautiful structure on the trees, and that there's also child labour on farms where children help their parents to pick the cocoa pods. The pillows in this exhibition are medical pillows that I've adapted to make them tauter structures. I like the way that the pillows look as though they're soft, but actually they're hard. So I quite like toying with contradictory notions, and that you might think that you could have some kind of comfort lying on them, but in fact they're rock-like and not comforting at all. So the title of the tables is called Not a Singularity, which is really also addressing the idea of multiple conversations in all of the work, including connecting up with volcanic ash in Bristol. I was really excited to receive the Freelands Award at Spike Island. And it was interesting, the first proposal was centering around slightly different ideas than the eventual project. But so then I started to realize that even though some of the original thinking had shifted, that it was still there informing the work in a kind of different way, different paradigm. So that's been really interesting to see things come full circle in certain ways.